So guys, today I'm bringing you my syncing and pan crop tutorial. Since the last tutorial has been a bit outdated and like, I don't know, it's like 7 months ago I made this tutorial, so I thought of making a new one. A lot of my syncing has changed and stuff. And I'm gonna show you my syncing with the timer map and like syncing trick shots and feeds with time velocity, keyframe velocity, and my pan crop as well synced perfectly to the time and to the actual curves. So there are many tutorials out there how to make this with the curves manually, but today I'm going to show you something with the keyframe velocity. How you can make these curves without using the graph editor and making your curves manually. You will be using keyframe velocity instead. So I'm going to start off with the trick shot. For feeds and trick shots it's like similar to sync this up. So I got a clip here. It's the Saw Rizzy trick shot something closer for this episode. I don't know. I made a clip to quality for him, and basically the first thing when I get all my clips here, I pre-compose them. So yeah, if I mess up on something, I just can, you know, delete it on this layer instead of on the direct layer if I added something in here. And so I'll basically choose a song with some beats where you can clearly see the beats here. And I took some Ed Sheeran song. Might sound gay now, but yeah. So let's start this off. So I got the first beat here. That's like the drop of the song. If you want to listen to this, I'm gonna select this for you. So open your eyes. And this thing here, I want to have my first shot synced. So what I do is I go somewhere where the shot is. It's right over here. So the first thing I do is I trim the layers off. See, I just trim the layers off. Command up, Shift D is on Mac. I'm basically on Mac to trim clips off. And basically on this layer here, I'm enabling time remapping. And yeah, so let's say we start off the clip somewhere over here. Let's say trim come to work area, and that's like the beginning of our thing synced up. We'll preview this, and if we preview this, we will see that it is just synced here on this beat. You see? So open your eyes. And this part here where I trimmed it, we will obviously use Twixtor for this part. I'm gonna show you that. Over here in the next beat is we're gonna trim this up, and this will be our kill cam part. We're gonna leave it over here for a sec. And we just added this part. So we got this after the shutter part to the next beat. This is our Twixtor part, and this is our time remap part. And so open your eyes. What you're gonna do is I'm gonna keyframe assistant easy ease this first now, because actually we don't need that. So we could say keyframe velocity. So the numbers I use is 8, 8, 8, and 8. So, and you see, this is just like we wanted the speed going in and slows out. And obviously I'm not doing it on this keyframe because this is no beat, so there's no extra movement needed. So open your eyes. But you see, even that looks shit, so looks laggy and stuff. So I'm gonna do this and this. You could say you're gonna easy ease this last keyframe here on this shot, because this is the slowing in part, going in part.
So open your eyes.
But obviously you don't need any movement on this. So I'll just move on. I'm going to show you in the next part how to do this, because I'm making any extra movement here. Oh, so on this part on the shot we use Twixtor like I said. So obviously put in the right frame rate, contrast, edge enhance. So what I do, I leave this here, I add motion blur competition. I move one frame back before the shot. I go to the speed, here, and then I move one frame forward. So on the actual shot beat thing, I don't know, and I put it on 250. You can use higher numbers, but it obviously doesn't matter. But you're at the end of the Twixtor clip part, and we put another 250 keyframe there. After that, we're gonna hop back 10 frames, and I like to use 50. Just do this, and then I easy ease this, obviously. Oh, and by the way, enable the motion blur when you do this syncing method. I feel it like helps a lot. So, and only the Twixtor part we are using the graph editor actually. So that's the only thing that you need to do manually. So you take this, you use, and the first keyframe we want to have it down. Because it's going fast in with the timer map, and then it slows down like this, and then slows down right before the next speed on 50, and obviously this would be going down as well like this. So it is on the beat here, going fast in from timer map, palm, slows down onto 50, and then goes fast in on the next speed. And if we preview this, get a lot of warp probably.
So open your eyes.
And it looks okay for an episode, for example. If you wanted higher pumps, you can use like higher numbers. For example, 400. But I don't really know if this is actually a good idea. Doing this, you would obviously go more down on the curves since it is stronger. So like this, yeah. And you can see it's higher values and it's going out stronger. So then we would go to our kill cam part. Obviously what the most editors do, they just put in the kill cam part here. And so this will obviously be the same like method. We would search for a beat that we want to have it synced on. And yeah, you want to find a beat that is like not too early, so actually the kill cam just goes too fast and you can't even see the clip. So we could say we sync it up here. So there's the shot. So now we come to the timer map syncing part, so you actually understand that. And then we're gonna trim this off. And time remap this. So there was the shot. We put a time remap keyframe there. Important. So before you do any adjustment here, getting any keyframes in or out, make sure this is here. So yeah. And go to the beginning. And you could say you want something of before that in this scene here, between that, and you would just make keyframe somewhere over here and drag this in, and you could say make a keyframe over here because I obviously deleted the first keyframe. And so let's say you want to go over here, start over here where the shotgun comes out, and you got these two keyframes. So the normal timer map process would be going on every thing and make a keyframe on your keyframe timer map thing. That's the same thing we're doing here now. We obviously got a beat over here. I'm not sure if I use it. Let's say we use it for this tutorial case, and let's see if I actually got every beat. And we obviously got all the keyframes on the beat. So the next step would be just easy easing, and for your timer curvy you would go in here and make the curves manually. But seriously, I'm so lazy and you all are also lazy, don't lie. So we use, let's say explain some of this shit here. So the influence is like how much, I'm gonna explain this to you actually in the graph editor. So keyframe velocity, the influence here. Let me read this real quick, yeah. Highlight these two. So the keyframe velocity and the influence gives how far this is going out. So let's say we go on, let's say we go 20, yeah. Just to show you what I mean is, see, it's how much this line here is going out. So you redo this, and this one, keyframe, this one 8 per second and stuff, is how fast and how fast it obviously goes. So if you were just on 8 was like this, and you know that this is the speed and this is like the timeline, and this is the speed per second, and this one obviously shows us how much it goes up per seconds, 20, like, you know, 20 fucking frames per second or something. It's just giving us the speed. So obviously I don't use 8, I use numbers like 8. They fit pretty well. Sometimes if you like not doing episode, I think for episode style 8 is also a bit high, so I'm using 6 sometimes. Or if it's already lagging, because 59.94 FPS obviously is not that high frame rate. And that's what you just like small syncing, small curves going up, going down. So let's do it differently. You can go always up, go up on 7 and stuff, until you finally got something you like. Like I said, I want to have it really pumped out because of the Twixter. So 9 maybe is something good, but the most of the time I use like 8. You can see 9 looks already pretty nice. You can even try higher things like on the things per second, 11. See, these are like really strong. And so this the speed. Let's say speed, you can try 10 instead of 11, because the 9 one was a bit low, but still on the key. Yeah, 10 looks nice. And obviously, if you look at this now in the graph editor, these are just the curves we would actually make manually, and these are even smoother because we use velocity and the keyframe velocity for all, so it's actually the same like property on all of the keyframes. And so let's go on this last part here. So let's say I want to sync this beat off, and this beat here I want to trim it off like these things the most editors do. So I use Twixtor for this as well. This is like the part on the by the way, I normally don't use Twixtor. Yeah? I use this enemy Twixtor. Enemy. I bought this obviously for $2. It like reduces all of the warp, like 90% of it until the speed of 65. It deletes all the warp, and that's pretty nice. I would recommend it to you buying it. It's like $2 or something on his selfie store, and yeah, it's a pretty nice thing. So I'm gonna use 250 on this one just to show you how this works. 250 on the beat, and on the last going off beat 250. We can even go stronger because I forgot we put this on 400. Let's just make this on 300 and then move 10 frames back. That's the normal process on 50, and then on the next beat 10 frames back, put this on 10 back, and then you obviously got your keyframes. You could also you could easy ease this. I think it would do its thing. I think Synergy Dries made a tutorial of his syncing, of his Twixtor syncing with trick shots. You can see it's not really that smooth. It's like weird outgoing on the beats. And Synergy Dries made a tutorial on his Twixtor syncing, doing exactly the same speed thing with Twixtor, but he does it that he goes 10 frames after this and puts another 50 keyframe over here, and then just easy ease it without any keyframe thing here. But the problem with this is it isn't still as smooth with your pan crop. You see that? It is obviously also synced, but that's not the thing we prefer though after doing these curves, because with this method he don't need to obviously do, what the fuck, one sec, he don't need to do this here, this going down curve, because after 10 frames, like over here, he would have it already on 50, and that's what he wants. But then it obviously, I'm gonna show you it would go like this, so, and then the 50 like here would be here. So we just do our curve. It's much smoother, not so many keyframes, and we get the same effect and even smoother and nicer. Nicer than Dries does it with his Twixtor 3 keyframes, one here, one on the beat, and 10 frames after the beat. I know many editors do that, but obviously I don't really like it. To be honest, this one is much smoother and looks much more nicer. So if we look this, we got synced it up, the beats. You see, it's pretty smooth and nice. And so, like I said, on the beats it goes down, slows down on the low value, and then for the beat here it goes in quick, jumps out and slows down again, just like the timer map curves. And so we're obviously done with this. We could just preview this.
So open your eyes and see the way I arrive.
Like I said, I'm gonna import a cinematic for this now. So just to show you this with cinematics. By the way, cinematics, yeah. Pre-compose this first, leave all the attributes. Cinematics, I'm also syncing with Twixtor. You can do this with the velocity thing, but I think it doesn't look as nice as it would look with Twixtor. And so I'm gonna use Twixtor again. And so this is just my syncing, overall syncing, and some people want to know how I do it with the KeyFrameVelocity. Obviously you know it already now. Not that big deal, I just wanted to share it with you guys. And so, 1 frame before the cinematic begins, 100, and then we pump it out at 400, yeah. And we go on the next speed over here. We leave it at 400 and move 10 frames back like I said, and go on 50, and then not like Dries on the beat 10 frames after 50. No, we make it more smoother, obviously, and then 10 frames back, and then put this out on 50. So keyframe assistant, easy ease, motion blur enabled. And again, we do our nice little curves. It is again the same process on the beat. The upper ones are pulled down, and I don't do anything with the low ones. You get good, nice and smooth out. Let me zoom in on this one. This one seems not as smooth as it should be. So. See, it's pretty smooth, and I obviously like it. I do it all the time like this. So, the next step, my pan crop. I'm not going on the real tough shit with warp and skew. That I might do this in another tutorial, obviously. Let's say if I get on this video, let's say like 60 likes. On this tutorial, 60 likes, I will do this with the skew, like, you know, like, Mass and Riz and all the people do it on the skew, where this one's, like, going crazy. And I'm gonna show you how I do it. It might be different how other people do it, but I'm just gonna show you, my basic pan crop. What I mean, by the way, with how Mass and all the people do it is this one, when they go crazy on the skew axis, you know? You see how this goes? Maybe now you know how they do it, so maybe before that you didn't know it. And yeah, so I'm not using skew or anything, or positioning. I think that's kinda old, no one uses it anymore. Kinda outdated, like I said. So we got our first shot. Pan crop, obviously I use 130. We used on the Twixtor 10 frames, so I'm gonna use 10 frames before as well. So you go 105. I'm also by the way not using rotation, any rotation. I don't like it obviously, and I think it's shit. So so on the shot I use 130 keyframes. And on the next speed, where it goes to the kill cam part, 130 seems a bit high, so I'm going to use 120. And what I do is I just copy and paste these numbers and drop them over to the beats. So the 121 obviously always before that. So always with the 10 keyframes here before that. Obviously, these beats are pretty fast lined up, so I'm gonna use 115 just in case it does not look too weird. Not 11. So tell me, like, if I should do tutorials like this, if they help you actually, or if they are just like if any other tutorials and actually not needed. I just want to stay active and stuff. I've been inactive for a while. I got kicked from Saw, and yeah, after that I was pretty inactive. I have been doing only mini edits, not actually episodes for the Saw players. I understand that. So I'm not actually pissed or something. It's okay in my opinion to kick me. I wasn't active. I had a few uploads on the Saw project things, but so now I've been inactive, doing some like one episode and too many edits in between like 3 months. Quite low, I know, but like I said, it's I'm fine with that, and I don't really care. I was like going out with my friends and stuff, and I was just having time for me, and so yeah, that's why now I don't want to be active again. So just tell me if I should do tutorials to be active. So just like the Twixtor, we're doing our manual curves here, and we're doing this just for one particular reason, because if I explain this to you, on the curves it goes fast in and fast out and slows out. Yeah, it goes fast in, fast, and slows smoothly out. And the same thing we want to do with the Twixtor. It goes fast in and slows out, and just over and over. Yeah, you can actually highlight these, kind of do this. I'm gonna show you the KeyFrameVelocity thing, but I need to add something to the KeyFrameVelocity thing. I need to add in note something, so you keep that in mind, because it's obviously not fully working with the KeyFrameVelocity thing, but I will get more in detail after I finish this, because I always do it like this. If I'm making plain episodes, I don't use anything anything beside this. And so goes fast in, fast slows out, fast in, slows out, fast in, slows out, and just like the pan curve. So if I preview this, many people do it just easy it, but obviously I don't like that. It's
open your eyes and see the way I arrive. Open your eyes and see the way I arrive. Open your eyes and see the way I arrive.
And yeah, that's just the basic syncing stuff we're doing here. Yeah, obviously pretty nice, blah blah blah. So I think I don't need to do this with feeds. Obviously, if I find a feed somewhere, might be hard, but I could check if I find a feed here. So there's a feed. I hope it's 20 or 59.29. What the fuck I'm talking about? 59.94. Boom, pump this in. So Twixtor, I obviously don't. I mean, there's so many Twixtor pumps, Twixtor sync tutorials out there. The best one is from Tyrant. Just check Tyrant out. Tyrant has a super good Twixtor tutorial thing on this, and just check his video. I'm gonna put his account in his YouTube channel in the description, so you can see that. Let me just quickly go to the beginning of the actual clip. And if you're asking how I've done synced Man of Honor, it was almost like Tyrant's Twixtor syncing, but I was doing it a bit differently with the velocity and keyframe positioning. He was just putting it somewhere like 20-30 frames after. I have a actual structure for this. I could call it structure, yeah. And yeah. So I'm just gonna do it for one shot so you guys know what I'm talking about. So like we said, we do shots. Do this at the beginning. We switch mover. Oh, fuck it off. Gonna add another shot, just there, this shot, and then I'm done with this. So, move this over, bitch. Come on. So, and then, oh, come on. Oh, I'll just move this over. I'm just gonna move this over here. Come on. So slow my PC at the moment. I got like 16 GB of RAM stuff. So, just keyframe assistant, easy eases again, and then go on your KeyFrameVelocity, and just as well check out your numbers. Like try 9 and 8 and stuff. Just as we done it before. Oh, it's so laggy, the club. You see, it's so yeah, you see? That's the best example. That's the best example for lagging. It's because we use too high numbers and it's going backwards and backwards and backwards, and then because of the time, like, it always needs to go straight up like this. Otherwise, you get freeze frames or it's going backwards. So we just tried something different. Try 8. I would go under like 5. Other than that, you would use Twixtor to sync that. And like I said, you just check out Tyrant's Twixtor syncing. Let me check this real quick. And you can see it's still kind of choppy, so I'm gonna turn this down to 6, otherwise it won't be possible. And you can see it looks pretty shit because the clip is recorded out of theater and stuff, and it's obviously hard scoping and shit. So like if this happens, I would recommend using Twixtor instead of Timer Map. But I think I think you got it, obviously, how to do this. And yeah. We sync up the last clip here. We do our last curve adjustments, and then we should be done. And then we preview this, like I said, and then you actually should have gotten my syncing and my pan crop, how I do it, to keep it simple.
So open your eyes and see the way our horizons meet.
Pretty, oh shit, don't move this. Pretty small pan crops. I'm just gonna select these. Let's see, 115. Let's say 130. We've done it before. Doops and doops. So, check this out. So that was my Syncing&Pan crop tutorial with the Twixtor and the timer map, but instead of using this manually, you should know now that there is a way of using this KeyFrameVelocity. Like I said, the most time I use 8 and stuff. So, or 9, you can just try, mess around this. I would use 8 to 9, or if it's really laggy, 6. So, just keep that in mind. So, and then, like I said, on the beats, I always trim the clips. This part here is done with timer map. This part here and this part here is done with Twixtor. Like I said, so you should obviously get it. Like I said, on the beats, it's going like the pan crop going in curves fast and slows out fast. Slows down, speed goes down and goes in on the beat and out and in on the beat. That's just how it is. This one obviously is done with timer map, just the same with the 8, 9 thingies, with the numbers and the velocity. Or you could do this manually.
So open your eyes and see the way our horizons meet, and all of the
So, I think we should be done here. If you want me to do a tutorial on the school thing here, the going crazy thing, I could make that with the thingy here. Oh, what I forgot. For the peeps are too lazy to do this manually, like me sometimes. So, like I said, after easy this shit, it should look like this. What I do, you cannot just select all the keyframes and do the velocity. You need to select the bottom ones first, and then like the no ones on 100 or 105, depends on what number you use. You go in KeyFrameVelocity, and the incoming velocity, I would leave this. I would always just leave this, but the outgoing velocity, I would put this on 95. Then it's pretty nice going in and should look good. So, and when you're done the bottom ones, you can go on this one. If you have got not even like the same values, you could say I was always using 120, pam 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 pam. It would be easy, but it will obviously also not look good. You're going on the KeyFrameVelocity, and you go on the incoming velocity, put this on 0, the incoming on 0, and the outgoing, use 4, put in 4 influence, and on this one, the speed per second, you put this on -100, or you can also use, just depends on how you want it, 200. And if it's not looking nice yet, you can still think about using higher numbers, but then, like I said, it gets sloppy and stuff on some parts, but then you at least have got this fast going in and slow down instead of having the normal easy ease curves. It's not as smooth as doing it manually here, so this is a contrast to the syncing. It's not, pan crop does not work as smooth with the velocity as manually. just preview this for you, but this still worked. That's why I'm using 105. By the way, if I mess up on something, it's still in the 105 values. It's still up onto the 100 values. This one is also pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. So, like I said, keyframe velocity on the top ones, incoming 0, 10, and minus 200 or minus 100, and the bottom ones, like I said, keyframe velocity. Just leave this one on 33.33 something, and this one on 95, and then it should be smooth. And then you can just go out of this. I know motion blur and this layers, and then you're obviously done. And so, any tutorials you want to have on some effects, just if I get 60 likes, I'm doing a new tutorial. And you can, any tutorial you want, just write in the comments what you want, and I'll think about it, what is possible and what is impossible to share with you, or even do with you guys. And yeah, other than that, I hope you like this and hopefully get it, how I sync my clips, my trick shots, my feeds, and my PC clips and stuff, and my pan crop, how it's made, the basic plain pan crop. I can do a pan crop on my crazy shit pan crop.
So open your eyes and see the way our horizons meet.
And yeah, and how with the warp and stuff, the in flat going out, going in, and then the curves again. I can do a tutorial on the pan crop thing if you want. Or on my motion tracking I'm always doing with the jets and stuff. Just tell me what you want to see. And the shadow thing, my motion track, any particular stuff that's going in my motion tracks. If you want to see anything, I'm open to share this effects with you guys. I want to make you better, and I'm improving by redoing this stuff and shit. So yeah, I hope you like this. Drop a like, a comment, what you should improve and stuff. And yeah, favorite, I don't know, I don't care. Twitter it out, tutorial by Spin Syncing, his syncing way, oh my god. I don't know, just enjoy it and just share it around. If it helped you, please drop a like, a comment, I don't know, something that would help me out. And peace out guys, and hopefully I see you in the next tutorial.